欢迎收看重新发现伟杰 Rediscovers special program, our premiere episode with Siong Leng Musical Association. Not in conjunction, we are not the official Singapore Rediscovers voucher. We don't have $100 with us, but we have a very power-packed interview for you. So I'm Wei Jie. This is a series where I will rediscover the musical trails I have in Singapore. The first performance I watched of Siong Leng was a few years ago in Shuang Ling Si. Yeah, that was quite an experience for me because not only was there music, it's also a 360 kind of dimensional experience. Yeah, theatrical, and then lights and visuals, everything very brilliant. Together with the Shuang Ling Si, the what do they call it? They call it the theater or something, but yeah, it's a very nice experience for myself. So today I'm officially here with Siong Leng, with their two. What do you call yourselves in the company?
Principal artist.
Principal artist from Siong Leng. So the last time I saw you was at Shuang Ling Si. I was audience. You were the performers. Very happy to be here with the both of you, and thank you very much for allowing me to have a chat with the both of you. Could you just introduce yourselves?
Okay, my name is Ming. Hello everyone. I'm 25 this year, and I'm a principal artist and also an education and outreach manager at Siong Leng Musical Association.
Okay, great. Yeah. 25, very young.
Yeah.
So when did you start?
I actually started learning Naning when I was 10. Yeah, but that was like not very formally learning. I only formally learned like with a Chinese master when I was about 15, 16, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so around 5 years after you were first exposed to Naning.
Yes, correct.
But who got you into this?
So my mom is actually a good friend of our executive director, Miss Celestina Wang. During that time, they actually wanted to recruit a younger group of members. So she called my mom and she said, your daughter want to learn or not? So I was just pushed into the scene.
Okay. But back then, do you have any idea what Naning was about?
No. I have actually not had any formal music training prior to learning Naning. So when I came in, Naning was the first musical genre that I experienced and I learned. So yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, Ming, just hold on for a while while I introduce
Ming Fong.
Ming Fong 说他比较喜欢讲华语是吗？
I'll try to speak in English first. Yeah.
English first. Okay, sure. Ming Fong.
If she's young, then I'm younger. I'm 24 this year. I'm Ming Fong. Yeah. So I'm currently the principal artist also and the head of programming, or working full time in Siong Leng as a head of programming. Sorry. So I have learned Naning since about 14, also officially learned, but I've joined the association since I'm 7.
Wow.
In the past, there is a small orchestra, Chinese orchestra, so I joined as a Dizi member. Yeah, I
also play Dizi.
Yeah.
We look same, we have the Dizi face. Okay.
So I kind of got also pushed by my mother.
Okay.
Yeah. So
who is the executive director?
Okay.
Yeah, so we stayed until now.
没得选了，因为妈妈是老板。
Yeah. At that point, you have no choice lah. But now it became a responsibility and a passion.
So you
to continue.
grew to love it, or
yes,
you had a bit of because your mother would have played at home, or
Yes. Naning is not a genre of music that you will like at first lah. It takes some time to learn it, so it become something that you can never ever finish learning. So it got me starting. The passion started when I realized that Naning is actually something that you cannot finish learning. It's like an onion, never stop peeling. And there's more and more inside.
Do your friends know that you are in playing Naning? And what are their reactions to? Okay,
they have seen our video. They have seen us performing live last time. Most of them do not understand. So, but they do not 排斥 also. Do not say like, hey, why you are so young? You are practicing things. They are okay. So, but they never really say that they liked it also. So they just subtly support you through.
That's nice. That's nice. Ming, what is the first instrument, or what do you do what is your principal position?
For now, I actually do vocals, and I also do the Nanning Pipa and the Nanning Sanxian. So I started off with Nanning vocals because I think in the past our teacher was of more of a traditional background. So actually, traditionally, you're supposed to learn singing first. Okay, so I learned singing first, and then I think about a year into learning singing, I changed over to the Pipa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For singing, how do the masters determine that your voice is suitable, or anyone can? For those of us who are watching, any tips for them?
Well, in Nanning singing, they talk a lot about using the head voice. So I think naturally you should have a range that can last from, let's say, in the C major until about the second octave re, the highest note.
That's a pretty wide.
Yeah. So that's the highest note that you should be able to reach because in normal Nanning songs, they are pretty high. You can go to a La, to a T. Most of the songs have this range. So I think you have to have at least a high range if you want to sing Nanning, and you need to know how to use your head voice before you come. For me, it was very challenging at first because I didn't know how to do that. And I think that the teachers who were teaching me, because we're all not vocally professionally trained as vocalists, so it was also very hard for them to explain to me how you can change from using your chest voice or your neck voice to your head voice. So it was quite a tough time for me then, because I found it very hard to reach the very high notes. So I think range is very important.
I see.
The range that you can sing.
So Ming Fong, you started with vocals?
Yes.
As well? So it's a
it's a
standard protocol
in the
for
past.
In the past, where more traditional masters, they usually teach through vocals first. So because there is a lot of language involved and story behind the scores, so normally they start from the lyrics, which is the Minan Yu. So we will learn singing first. So through learning the singing, you will know the melody, the story, the 调式, everything. So every time they will start with singing first. Then you go into the score, then into the instrument. So instruments will always be
so you learn the characters first. Learn how to sing the individual.
So for us, it's even more difficult because we do not know the Minnan dialect. So we will use Hanyu Pinyin. So for the masters, it's easy. Back in China, it's easier, not easy, because they know the characters, pronunciation. So that is step one. So for us, there's more than step one, because we need to know the exact pronunciation using Hanyu Pinyin and all that.
So was it a challenge? See, you both of you didn't know how to speak Hokkien as Singaporeans know it. So how do you overcome it? 每天这样子跟着
until now, if you show us a piece of score or what, we do not know the exact pronunciation. We only can guess. Because in Minnan there's so there's like a scholar way of speaking and there's a commoner way of speaking. So different sentences or different passage or different songs use different kind of singing. So singing method or singing the words. So the only way for us to confirm is through the masters. So different masters may have different teaching method and different words. But 大同小异, it should be exact about the same.
I see. So for someone like me who has a very poor memory, short-term memory, what would be your suggestion? Do you record down how the masters do it and you try to imitate, or?
I mean for the you mean for singing, is it?
For singing.
Yeah, so for singing, usually what I do will be first my teacher will actually recite the lyrics one time and I'll write it down one time, and then I also have it recorded, so when I go back I can refer to it. Because sometimes when you write KE, right, is it K or K? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so sometimes you get confused with your own writing, then you refer back to the recording.
I see. So the scoring part is very different from what we do in CO. I mean, both of you in CO or no?
I did. For a period.
In
secondary school.
Yeah,
okay,
secondary
so
school.
we have 简谱.
Just CC.
CC. Okay. So how different is the score that you use in Nanning compared to CO?
Okay. Nanning still retains a very old score system or score method, which is called 公车谱, which is a bit different from 公词谱 that we learn in Chinese history. So 公词谱 is more for opera or the singing kind. So 他们是宫商角徵羽. So 我们 so for us, we have 5 different main musical notes, which is 斜、宫、六、四、一. If it's translate or transcribed into C major in our normal numerical score, will be Do Re Mi So La. Yeah.
Okay.
So mainly 出且攻六十一这个五音调是 they will expand from there. So the other notes come from these 5 notes.
So for the 切攻六十一, do you have to recite it in the tone, or you can just monotonously?
In the songs you have to sing it according to the melody of the tune. But it's difficult for us to 切攻六十一. It's just naturally in our in our brain that we say 切攻六十一. It's just naturally Do Re Mi So La. We don't say Do Re Mi So La.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we can see, Nanning is a very, very traditional kind of an art form, right? So how was 2020 to the both of you as a traditional artist?
Well, I think we only had 2 live performances this year. One was at River Ang Pao for the Chinese New Year celebrations, and the next was part of our annual heritage series at the Tian Ho King Temple. So other than these 2 performances, a lot of our shows and our performances have been postponed or cancelled. So for the back part of the year after the circuit breaker, we've been focusing a lot on digitalization. So how we can make videos. We've actually done 2 projects, I think. One is for the 30 Days of Arts with Straits Times. We did 1 music video for that. And we also did another music video called Garden of the East to celebrate Singapore's 55th birthday. So other than that, I think we've been doing a lot of planning for next year's programs.
Okay, so this year is almost gone.
Yeah, it's already November, so fast, almost over.
Yes. So the digitalization process, do you have any challenges as a traditional art school? I mean, my understanding of Nanning, if I'm not wrong, is that you must have 5 musicians, so 1 vocalist. There's a standard setup. So how do you overcome that, given all the distancing measures and there's Dong Xiao, right? So the Dong Xiao guy couldn't.
So for the previous digitalization projects we have done, so we record individually. So this is already a bit difficult for us because technically for the vocalist to sing, we have to have the pipa and the Dong Xiao. So one to have the tempo set. The pipa will set the tempo and the feeling and the whole melody. So for Dong Xiao is to fill in all the blanks, like so we call ornamental notes. So it's whatever the 加花音 that the vocalist may use. So usually to form up the whole piece, it requires at least these 3 instruments. 2 instruments and 1 vocalist. So when we are recording separately, it takes a bit more time. Because maybe the Dong Xiao will advise the vocalist to sing like that. The vocalist will advise the Dong Xiao to sing like that. And the pipa have to take note of its tempo. Because we do not follow a fixed tempo. We are a bit flowy. So the tempo is set by the pipa. So if we do not play it together, it gets a bit difficult when we are recording, especially you have to play back and listen and record. So it gets a bit more difficult. So it requires more time.
So the process is rather collaborative.
Yes.
So the pipa has a say, the vocalist also has a say.
So actually, the if let's say a whole ensemble come together of 5 instruments, the biggest say should come from the vocalist.
Okay.
So he set the feel, he set the tempo. The pipa is there to assist, to control the 4 people from going their own way. So you have to control these 4 people and listen to follow the vocalist.
So in that. Is it a full setup if it's 5 person? Do you have any like configurations?
Okay, so
you can talk about 织布区.
So technically in Nanning there's 3 performing style, I would say. So for one is actually 指套. So in 指 is actually there's only 48 of these pieces in Nanning. So it ranges from 20 to 45 minutes. So for 指套 is it can be sung, it can be played only instrumentally. So this is 指. So if 指 usually we will use it for opening of a Nanning performance. So we will include 唢呐 and 笛子. Okay, to make it more lively. It's the start of the performance. Because Nanning instrument generally we are quite soft.
Yes.
As you know.
Sorry, I have to pause you again. When did Sona come into Nanning?
Okay, I don't know the exact date, but because it's Nanning is formed in Fujian. So it can be traced back to the Han Dynasty. So throughout these years, it has been formed, adding up instruments only in Quanzhou. That's when Nanning really full. full became what it is now. So at that point, I think they wanted to find something that is more vibrant to make it sound like it's more lively. So I think the first choice is Sona.
So Sona has been in Nanning for quite some time.
Yes, quite some
It's
time.
not a very recent.
It's not a very recent thing.
Okay.
So
this is where my memory is not so accurate really, because my impression of Nanning is just the 5 instruments and the vocalist.
Yes. So Sona and Dizi added in is to make it more lively. But in Sona it's they because in the Fujian area there should be quite a few of these instruments out there. So in this Sona that we call in Nanning is actually called Ai Zai. Ai Zai. So in Fujian it's called Aya. So this Aya is one of the most slim Sona you can find out there. I think it's even slimmer than the G Sona that we see in Sona, that we see in orchestras. So this Ai Zai is, you must be as soft as possible in this ensemble. So it's not like the Bei Sona that we hear out there, you know.
The very loud and
so for
commanding.
this Sona that we use in Nanning, it should the sound, the 音色 and the 音 how to say 音量 should be about the same as the 动效. So it's actually
could be quite challenging for the musician.
So it's not easy for the Sona player in Nanning. So 笛子 is also the same 作用. So it will only appear in the 指套, which is start of the performance. And usually we only use C 调笛子. So the C 调笛子 will play all different majors in Nanning.
Okay, interesting. So for Ming, during the circuit breaker, you had to record some things for Siong Leng, right?
Yes.
So what were the challenges? Maybe because you are supposedly you are the boss, you decide the how the piece
Actually,
should go,
right, if I can weigh on that, right, I think it depends on the dynamic of the group. Because for us, 5 of us principal musicians, we have 5 in Siong Leng right now. We've been practicing together for a very long time. And the leader, so to speak, of our group is actually Ming Fong. So usually when we practice together, he will be the one giving me a lot of suggestions on how I should go about singing this and the melody and the rhythm. So actually, I think depending on the dynamic of the group, I wouldn't go and say, "Hey, why you play like that? You shouldn't play like that." No, I don't do that. So how we can come together. So let's say if I feel like the Dong Xiao shouldn't be playing this way, I will speak to him and say maybe we can find another way that we can play this phrase. And then after that, we will ask Ming Fong for his opinion. And then if he says that I don't think this way is very good, then we will try to find another way.
So even for the very traditional pieces, there's still room for discussion of how you want to interpret.
Actually, for ornamental notes, I believe that there are rules, but there are still different ways that you can express what notes you want to use, how you want to use them. It's still up to the singer, up to the Dong Xiao player and the pipa player. Okay.
So when you rehearse, right?
Yes.
Now, do you all use English,
Yes.
Mandarin, or
English?
But our teacher or our master now in Singapore and China all speak Chinese. So during rehearsal, among ourselves we speak English, but to respect our teacher, we still speak Chinese.
I see. So the way your master teaches is still in Mandarin. So
of course,
yes,
very accessible for Singaporeans. In a sense, not just Hokkien.
Okay. So from what I know, my master is among the only few that can speak Chinese in Fujian area, because they use Minnan Yu. Because Nanning is Minnan Yu. If you teach, it must be in Minnan Yu. So our teacher actually uses Chinese to teach us. So he's very nice about it. And at that time, about 10 to 12 years ago, we are the first one that needed Chinese. Needed to use Chinese to teach us. So our teacher also learned a lot from there. He told us about it. Because usually it's very easy for them to teach Minnan students, because once I say, you understand. So to teach us really requires more steps.
So the master actually retrained him, skills future himself to teach Singaporeans like you all. Okay, great. So since we have talked so much about Nanning, how about you perform for us?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Let's go. So we have just watched a performance by Ming Fong and Ming Yi. Do you like it? I think I like it a lot. So now we have some instruments, traditional instruments of the Nanying, which maybe both of you can show us, talk to us about the instruments.
Okay. Sorry. So this is actually the Nanying pipa. So also known as Nanpa. So this pipa has 4 strings. It's one of the 2 plucked strings instruments in Nanying. So in the past it uses silk string, and now it has been changed to nylon strings because due to its elasticity, and it's very easily broken if it's used silk strings. So we changed it to nylon.
But do you all still use silk strings once in a while for
certain ensemble, but not in Singapore. But if you say Taiwan, they will retain these 2 as silk string and these 2 as nylon strings. But actually, if you hear the insert, it differs a bit. So it will be best if 4 is silk string and 4 is nylon strings.
More consistent.
Yeah, more consistent. Okay. So there's total of 14 frets. So 13 usable. So 1 is only for one particular song. So usually we say 13 usable frets. Yeah. So
one particular song.
Just designed
so
for one.
Specific.
Yeah, it's actually this note. It's actually this one that is awkwardly placed here. Yeah. So yeah. Anything else for pipa? So this is okay. So we can see here, there's this band here that we call it a band neck pipa.
Yes.
So in Chinese it's called qu jing pipa. So this kind of pipa, qu jing pipa, and we hold it horizontally. So qu jing pipa and hengbao pipa can be traced back to the Tang Dynasty. So Bi Hua, Gu Hua, the night revels of Han Si Zai. So all this can be found. Can trace.
So this instrument can only be bought in Fujian, in Quanzhou.
In
It can't be found in Singapore.
Fujian area, Singapore, no.
Do you mind if I ask how much is?
Okay.
Singaporeans very practical. Must know the price.
There is different quality. As we can see here, there's a marking. So all these markings are actually markings from the maker. So different maker have different price. So this is actually a mediocre one. So it may be about less than 1,000 Sing dollar.
I think it was 800.
800 to 1,000 Sing dollar.
Okay.
So a better one, if there is more branding, let's say some of the branding they'll put here, like LV and Gucci. So that kind will be about 2,000 Sing dollars. 2,000-3,000 Sing dollars. That is a very, very good quality one.
I see.
But pipa, like Nanying pipa, when you just buy it, right, it requires some time for it to sound good. So Nanying pipa usually requires it in qi, ren qi, for it to turn really seasoned. So
if you play it very often, communicate a lot with the instrument.
We have a pipa that is just about 600-700 Sing dollar. It has been our most played pipa.
Okay.
Because since then we have been playing only that pipa.
And the presence is so strong that even a lower priced one is actually what you use most of the time. Wow. Okay. Amazing. Okay. What else do we have?
Okay. So.
Sorry.
Ming Fong, by the way, you can play everything.
Not really.
Yes, you can.
Not really.
Is it a requirement to learn as many instruments? No.
Usually, if you play the pipa, you have to learn to play the sanxian. Okay, so no. If you know how to play pipa, people will just assume that you know how to play sanxian. Because they have the same technique. And so all these 4 are primary instrument, but in the primary instrument, there's a secondary tier. So there's a primary tier which is pipa dongxiao, and a secondary tier which is sanxian erxian. So people will just assume that you know how to play sanxian if you know how to play pipa. Okay, so this is a sanxian, also known as xiao sanxian. There's xiao sanxian, zhong sanxian, and da sanxian. So da sanxian, which is what we see in Chinese orchestra. Zhong sanxian, which is more in Fujian opera scene or opera scenes. This is the smallest, xiao sanxian. So xiao sanxian is the same as other sanxians. So it uses python string to 绑那个蛇皮 then 木头 to 射整个sanxian. So there's total of, as we know sanxian, there's only 3 strings, which is also using the nylon strings, exactly the same as pipa. So it is designed to be 1 octave lower than the pipa. So this is about D3 to B5. This is about A2 to B5.
I see.
It's
So
about there.
the instruments play the same notes.
All the same.
And then different embellishments.
No,
Only-
only
okay.
动效 and 二弦.
Yes.
Only 动效
Yeah,
so,
so-
the rest will be rather
Yeah,
strict.
yes.
in
So
what they play.
we will normally call this the skeleton, and that's the flesh.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so-
Let's look at the flesh.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
This is 动效.
Yeah. This is called a 动效, also known as 南销. Okay, there's 南方的销, there's 北方的销. Correct. So both are made from bamboo lah. Okay, so for 动销is a bit more interesting. So this 销, normally all these bamboo that we use are found in only the Quanzhou and Fujian area lah. So the common bamboo that we use is called 福建紫竹.
福建紫竹.
Okay, so that one is only can be found in Fujian. Okay. So in this, it can be called 尺八 also. In the past, it's called 尺八 lah. So whatever the shakuhachi that we see in Japan. Yeah, they actually
It's derived from
derived from
南销.
唐代的南销, 唐代的洞销, which is exactly the same as this.
I see.
So to make a 尺八 or 洞销, it requires 十木九节. So what do you mean by 十木九节? So 洞销 come from the root of the bamboo. So in the root of the bamboo, it must have 10 knots, 9 sections. So what is knots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these lines are called knots. And in between must have 9 sections. So in the bamboo of the root, it must have 10 knots and 9 sections to form a 洞销. Yeah,
okay.
so this to make a 洞销 is very difficult. There's a lot of criteria to make a good 洞销. Yeah, then it must be about 一尺八寸, 20.
Which is why it's called 尺八,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the 洞销.
Great. So for 动销, right, is there any major difference between the makers?
Makers. Okay, so as we see here, this is the branding. Okay, they like to put their branding. Okay, this is the name that they give to this 洞销.
Oh, there's a name for the
there's a
instrument.
name for.
Wow,
So
okay.
for this shop, right, is a very famous master. So this is actually the name of her daughter. So any 洞销that have her daughters means is
He
grade
made
A.
one. Grade A.
Grade A.
Okay.
So grade B is the name of his shop. It's called Hua Ming. Yeah. Then the rest is just.
So only daughter lah. So
Yeah, only
the siblings, no siblings to argue
yeah.
over who is first, who is
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
her-
do you mean like in the way that they make the 洞销, is there any difference?
Yes, that's also another thing. I'm
it should
curious.
be 大同小异.
Yes.
Okay.
大同小异. They have to sun it, they have to roast it to dry out the moisture of the bamboo.
okay.
Yeah, then they have to sun it, dry it a few times. It's about the same as the instruments making of the next another instrument later that we will show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. What about the next one you're going to
Last
show?
one.
Wow, this looks
Last one.
very interesting at the way
The last
the Ching Tong looks.
the last one. Okay, this Ching Tong have a very special story.
Okay.
The last one is actually called 二弦. Okay, it's a bit it's different from the 二胡 or other 胡琴 that we see in orchestras. So the first difference is the 轴 is on the inside, not on the outside. Correct. For the 千金, we do not have an extra tuning, little tuning thing. So we have to move the 千金 to make minor changes. So for the Ching Tong, so my master insists on this is actually natural. Yeah, but we believe that it's drawn because it's too
It
unnatural.
looks drawn. It looks drawn.
Yeah, so this is actually made of bamboo. So this is actually
竹
木.
筒. It's wooden
Wooden
and
bamboo.
bamboo.
Yeah, so this 竹 same as the 洞箫 must have 13 or 14 knots. So from here count to here must have at least 13 or 14 knots. Okay, so 二弦 still retain the most ancient string, which is silk string. So but silk string is very easily broken. So temperature when it's too hot, it will turn 它变高 because it expand. It will 变低 because it expand. And if it's cold, it will 变高. So this contract and expand is very easily broken.
I see.
Yeah. So for 二弦, we still like to retain the silk string because of the sound. Yeah, but certain ensemble in the world already changed it to metal strings.
Where do you find the silk strings?
Silk strings in Quanzhou.
You have to buy it in Quanzhou.
Yeah.
So
They have the 特定的 size.
okay.
Yeah.
So do you have enough supply to until beyond phase 3?
Currently
Good
still
question.
Currently still safe.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, because given that it breaks so easily due to climate changes and stuff, so Wow, I think it's quite
But usually if we
challenging.
finish playing, we will reduce the string to reduce the tension. Because
okay.
in Singapore, usually it's either very hot or is it in the aircon room. So the tension is really very strong. Yeah. So
okay. Wow, interesting. So you know how to play Ersian as well?
just a bit. Just a bit to know.
I see. So your number one instrument, your so-called principal instrument is still pipa. lah.
Yeah, pipa and sanxian. I started learning at sanxian.
Oh, you started learning sanxian.
Because I learn pipa.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're supposed
In
to,
the past,
you need to form an ensemble.
Then
Oh,
there's
also
another
during the
2%.
lesson itself, the masters already put you in an ensemble.
In the
Yeah.
past, students do not get a say on what you
Yeah.
learn.
Oh.
Now,
Now
whatever
no
you want to
choice,
learn.
yeah.
But how does the master decide what instrument? Look at your face. 你有那个
Pipa,
笛子脸
pipa and sanxian usually right anybody can learn because it's
Yeah.
quite simple. The techniques are it's just the mastery of the techniques, especially the pipa. So usually I think masters they don't put so much effort into thinking who should play pipa or sanxian. But more importantly is the dong xiao. I think.
So because until now we still use our own personal fingernails to play pipa and sanxian. So
Which is why they are so
yeah,
long.
Yeah. So usually I have a friend that the fingernail is really short and she likes to bite. So
okay.
there's no way of her playing the pluck strings. So naturally she's thrown into dong xiao ersian. Then the master will see if her mouth
Suitable.
is at the right size or not. If it's too small, then you will just go to ersian naturally. Yeah.
I
So
see.
in the past it's like that, but now it's a
okay.
bit different.
Now you get to choose.
Yeah,
lah.
yeah,
The students get to choose
Yeah.
what they want to learn. Okay.
Unless they really, let's say a lot of people want to learn the dong xiao, but it's really not easy because your mouth has to be a certain shape and how you blow the wind into the hole, the cut hole there is not easy. So we do have students coming to us and saying that they want to learn the dong xiao, but we advise against it because if after 1 to 2 lessons you're still not able to blow, then we would advise you to learn another instrument.
Okay. So what is how many lessons? Do you have like a gauge by how many lessons you should be able to do it? Otherwise, you should quickly.
For dong xiao,
for-
within the 2-3 lessons you
within
will
the 2-3
Yeah,
lessons.
if you really
no 天分就 OK，不要强求。
okay, if you persevere sometimes can. But it's really difficult because the embouchure is a bit different from other. It do not have a mouthpiece, so it's not say if you blow it will have sound. Definitely have sound. If you blow, you have sound. 这个可以雕了。Yeah, if you really cannot find the embouchure, then
Yes.
Then-
缘分with the
about
instrument.
2-3 lessons you will have to.
Okay. Wow, thanks so much for sharing all these instruments. They look wonderful. Maybe later we can do a close B-roll. Anyway, so this year is coming to an end, but many people have said it has ended in February. So what is it for Siong Leng in 2021?
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. So as Ming said just now that we are planning and looking towards the digitalization. So in next year, 2021 is actually Siong Leng's 80th anniversary.
Wow.
Actually, we had an extensive program and live performance plan, but unfortunately due to the COVID, we can't do it. So we decided to do more projects online or digitalize them. So next year there's actually 4 main highlight videos that we would like to do. One with music, one with costumes, one with movement artist or a visual artist, and lastly with a choreographer. So main 4 videos. Then there will be smaller videos that celebrates Nanin's journey through these 80 years. So some will be talking about history of Siong Leng, some will be our instruments. I believe until now, Nanin, not a lot of people know about our instruments. So we will make videos dedicated to our instruments, and other mini videos that we will put online.
I see. So how can my friends that are watching this video find Siong Leng? What are the platforms that you are in?
We are on Facebook, so we post all of our videos on Facebook. We have YouTube as well, and Instagram and Spotify. So Spotify is actually it's actually something that we recently added this year. We feel that we want more people to be able to listen to our music, reach out to a wider audience. So we actually posted up 2 of our, I think now it should be 2 of our albums, Soul Journey and 9 Songs, the one that you watched in Shuangli on Spotify.
Okay,
So, yeah.
great. So make sure to check them out on Spotify. You know, one of the probably the only Nan-Ying group on
Oh
Spotify.
no lah. I think they do have other
They have
Fujian
other-
Nan-Ying, but
Okay. In Singapore.
in Singapore,
okay,
yeah.
okay, we narrow the criteria.
yeah,
a bit.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So, Mingy, what are your wishes for 2021? It can be your
Of course,
own
yeah.
wishes and for Siong Leng as
I mean, for
well.
Siong Leng, of course, I hope that we'll be able to perform live soon. I think it's definitely different lah. Producing a music video and performing live. We do miss the cheers. We do miss interacting with our audiences. So I hope that we do have at least 1 or 2 performances next year where we can see all of our supporters again. For Siong Leng, of course, I wish that we will continue to move forward together as a group, as a company, to do newer things and to reach greater heights.
Oh, great. Both of you are full-time.
Yes.
So how many more of your colleagues are full-time?
We have, how many full-timers do we have? 7? 8.
Eight.
Oh, we have 8
Oh.
full-timers. So it's actually 5 of us principal musicians. We are all full-timers. We have an artistic director and executive director. And we also have he's a project manager. Yeah, a project manager.
Oh,
but
that's
he's not
great.
an artist.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, that's nice. How about Ming Fong? Your wishes for 2021?
I hope that vaccine will come out soon. Same as Mingy, because we really miss our audiences. Because as we perform in the recording studio or as we make all these videos, all these efforts and hard work, we really hope that our audience can see through the live performance that we put up. Because as we know, as we be planning throughout the years, throughout this year, we realized that actually digital projects is actually the same, the budget and the effort put in is the same as the live performance. So in the live of a performance, you can really feel the audience. The whole feeling of the performance is really different. It can't be felt in a video that you watch online. So we really hope that we can really perform to a live audience soon.
But I think that in this year, we kind of realized how big technology is and how important digitalization is. So I think it was a learning experience for us, how we actually changed from always doing live performances to trying to reach out and market ourselves online, creating a digital presence for ourselves. So I think in the coming years, we will still continue to create a digital presence for ourselves, and then in the meantime also learning how to cope with technology, how to cope with all these digital things that are happening in the world now.
Yes, definitely. Because I watched because I was at the Siong Leng performance, the experience and everything, and then I watched the videos that you all posted on Facebook. Very nice, but the experience is just there's just this very important thing that is missing. Like Siru was there with me as well, so the experience is entirely different. So I really look forward to watching your live performance again.
I hope so too.
And I hope to join you all one day for the one that you all do every year. The island.
Oh, Kusu
Kusu Island. Yes,
That's part
I've
of our
always
annual
wanted
heritage
to watch that one,
go,
but it's always a lot of work and
Timing.
stuff.
Yes,
That
yes,
hopefully the next one available, I can join you all. Probably you can bring this podcast to Kusu Island.
which will be next year, because we missed this year's one
Yeah.
also because of COVID. We didn't go.
Which month is it in? May?
Usually it's in the Chinese calendar 9th month.
Oh, 9月
Yeah,
Oh,
Chinese
okay.
calendar 9月.
Okay.
So usually it will be in
October
or November.
昂毛的10月. Yeah, so looking forward. Hopefully we can bring this mixer over and hopefully there's power plug there. Could have.
Should have.
That can be used, I don't know.
Okay, thank you very much again,
Thank you.
Ming Fong and
Thank
Ming
you
Yi.
very
Thank you very much, and look forward to our next, not our, my next, this Wei Jie Rediscovers music in Singapore and beyond. Thank you very much. Bye bye.